You're listening to Tassie Encounters Moments on Faith FM, and we're coming to you from Tasmania, right across Australia. Each weekday at 9 a.m, you can hear what the Bible says about past, current and future events. You can learn how to study the Bible more effectively. You can get to know who God is, why we're here and where we're going. And you can experience personal encounters with Jesus. I'm your host, Jason Cook, and today David Leo joins us again in the studio. We've been talking about giants of the 20th century. Now, we're not talking about really tall people here, David, are we?
No.
Tell us what we've been talking about.
We're talking about Christians that have been really influential and have left a legacy for us to work from. You know, we stand on their shoulders. You know, they're part, and these are in the 20th century, so they're of recent times. And I call them giants because I've read about them and I've been inspired by them, and I wanted to share with our listener of how great these people are and how God has used them. And I believe that when we are inspired by others that God has used, I'm hoping and praying that you'll get a sense of what's God calling you to do, what's God calling you to be, and where is He leading you? And my hope is that you'll respond to that. And so we've looked at people like, I mean, you could just Google these ones, but I suppose I'm just sharing from what it's done.
I'm sure they've got Wikipedia pages.
Yeah, for sure.
Them, so.
Absolutely. So we've looked at Fanny Crosby, who's written a lot of songs that we sing in churches these days.
Over 8,000 hymns.
8,000 hymns. That's amazing. I only knew like 3 of them that I like to sing. And then there's, yesterday we looked at Oswald Chambers.
Something we didn't speak about, Oswald, is that he refused to come back from Egypt, even though he was struggling and he was sick. And he ended up dying there after a complication of an appendectomy. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Appendectomy.
Yeah.
So he refused to come back to civilization, but because he felt that he was needed.
Had to be with the soldiers.
It died quite young, 43.
43. Yeah, it was a freak accident of an appendicitis, just bursting and just things that didn't. Yeah, soldiers are very, very sad. And I'm glad you said that because what you notice about these people is they give up comfort in order to follow God's call. That's amazing. And today, probably the most famous out of all of them, I think. If you don't know his name, you'll definitely know of his work.
I'd heard of his name. I don't think I was familiar with his story before you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say his story. So you haven't heard of. So his name's C.S. Lewis.
I've read it. Oh, sorry. I thought I'm reading the next day.
Okay.
C.S. Lewis, of course. Yes, I know his name and his story.
Yes. So C.S. Lewis, he lived 1898. He was born. And I've got a real affinity to C.S. Lewis because he said as a kid he loved reading books, and that's the same as me. I used to get caught up in reading all types of books and letting my imagination take me to different worlds when I was a little kid. And C.S. Lewis's work, The Chronicles of
Narnia.
The Chronicles of Narnia is so well known, so popular that it is. Hollywood also made it into a movie.
The series.
Yeah, the series.
Yeah.
And the lion, Aslan, is meant to represent Jesus Christ. And so he tries to present.
And it, when I watched, I don't know which one it was I think there's 3 of them. To me, knowing the gospel, it was so obvious. And
is that right?
So many people probably watch it not really realizing what it's actually communicating.
And that second thing you just said, people watching it and not knowing it's been communicated, I think is one of the most clever. As a preacher, I want to be clever like that. I want to preach to an audience that don't know Jesus, tell a story, and make their minds go, I've never thought about that concept before. That I could be loved that way, that somebody will fight for me.
And I think the movie series has done really well as well.
Okay, I haven't read the books, neither have I watched the movies.
I've only watched the movies. Another one of his famous books is I'm not a reader.
I was about to say I'm so boring. The only thing I've read, the book I've read from is Mere Christianity, the apologetics book.
I was going to say the Mere Christianity I've actually got copies of that, both electronically and physically, and there's some really good stuff in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think another big fictional work, I've read bits and pieces of it, but I thought, this is awesome. It's called Screwtape Letters, where he has this meeting of the devil and his and his gang, the things, the plans they're going to do to attack God and his people. I think, that's really clever. And mere Christianity. Actually, could you read Matthew 13:13?
Yes.
I think this is where C.S. Lewis has left his legacy.
Let me just bring it up. Sorry, I'm a bit slow today.
No worries.
Matthew 13:13 says, "This is why I speak to them in parables, because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand."
Right.
This relates to the Chronicles of
Correct.
Narnia very much, doesn't it?
Correct. And that's such a clever way of communicating the gospel. Now, you imagine Jesus telling the story of what we call the prodigal son now. The gist of the story is this man has two sons. The son wants to get his inheritance that he can only get when his father dies, and he wants to get it early. And then the father obliges, spends it all, and then realizes that when he's got a job where he's feeding the pigs and he's actually eating the pigs' food, he's thinking, man, home was better. And then he returns home, father accepts him. Imagine Jesus telling that story to an audience that doesn't understand the gospel, but it brings feelings of, oh, what a loving father, but then also, if I was the father, I wouldn't take him back. And then, what
Brings up all these internal conflicts.
All these internal conflicts.
Even between the older brother, and the angst that he felt towards his younger brother and stuff
saying,
like that.
Well, I never, the older brother, basically Jason saying in the story, it's found in Luke 15, by the way. In the story, the older brother complains and says, why would you take him back?
Yeah.
I haven't gone anywhere. I've been here the whole time. And so, just like Jason says, it brings up all these, emotions, these thoughts on, what would I do in this situation? And C.S. Lewis, and what you said about now I've got a thing in my mind. I'm like, I gotta watch this.
It's very well done.
And I have heard many people say the books are amazing. The books are really good. Whether they're Christians or not, they said the books are great. And so being able to communicate the gospel without having to reference straight to the Bible where they may not understand. That is, that's where C.S. Lewis shines. And his name's actually Clive Staples Lewis, right? And in the time that he's living, he actually went to war.
Yeah.
And
and he was injured in the First World War.
Poor guy was injured.
Came back and became a lecturer at Oxford and Cambridge.
And amazingly, he wasn't a believer.
He was an atheist at that time.
Correct, he was an atheist and a very smart atheist. I mean, you just said he went to Oxford and he was a lecturer at Oxford and Cambridge.
Yep.
And these are big elite universities in England.
And of the world, really.
Correct, and of the world. And one of the great things about this story of C.S. Lewis is that there was another lecturer at the school that he was at.
The Friend? Are you talking about
The Friend, J.R. Tolkien, correct.
Yeah. And he wrote, of course, The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so now you've got this believer that's hanging out with a non-believer who's questioning life, who's come back from war and knows there's got to be more to life than... And he suffered a great deal. I think his mother died of cancer when he was very young.
I think that made him quite bitter. Yep.
Right. And so, and he was an avid reader. He said his house was full of books, and him and his brother would just devour the books that were at their house because, they didn't have tablets and things like that back then. And he befriends J.R. Tolkien, and he speaks of many evening walks that they go on. And J.R. Tolkien would challenge his thinking, and they would go back and forth. And I think there's something where he says on the night that he knew his mind had changed, he'd come to the realization that he believes he was the most stubborn atheist in England at the time.
And I think he really grappled with, almost fought against his belief in God. Like he didn't want to believe in God, but I think it got to the point where he had no choice but to accept that the most logical path was to actually believe in God.
I'm glad you brought that up, because he came through, he had to break down the logical parts first, right? And then he became like a follower.
And then, of course, he experienced a lot of pain. Like, he married late and then his wife died.
Yeah.
You know, and he that really hurt him, you know, deeply, and he grappled with that. And I think he wrote another book called The Problem of Pain as a result of that as well.
Yeah, that's right. I was about to say something, but I wasn't sure if he wrote it or somebody else wrote it for him. But it was almost like he had a curse. I don't know if he wrote it or somebody else wrote it. But yeah, The Problem with Pain is actually a very popular book, Jason. That's one of his really popular books. But my inspiration that I got from Mere Christianity, which is the book he wrote, and it really challenged me, was the Trilennial Challenge, where he writes down that Jesus and the claims that he made, he can either be a Lord, a lunatic, or a liar. And when I read that, I was stumped. You know, I thought this is a good argument, because I was in that, and I was like, and I wanted to, at the time when I read it, I wanted to believe that Jesus was a lunatic. That's where I wanted to place him.
Yeah.
But everything inside me, everything knew, you know, that's a lie. You know, you're kidding yourself with that. But you know, in retrospect, I was just trying to get out of accountability, Jason. I just didn't want to be.
And it sounds like he sort of went that way as well, to some extent, but he eventually submitted, really, what it came down to.
I'm flattered that I've just been put in comparison with a genius. But C.S. Lewis was an amazing servant for God, and we can owe to him for things like Chronicles of Narnia, and we could learn from him how to share the gospel in a guise of parable, where we can still give the same principles and challenge people to think about Jesus.
A very creative way.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for our book offer.
This program is made possible by the support of Adventist World Radio.
Our book offer was the writings of Oswald Chambers, and it's a proven best-selling devotional for many years. Over the past century, Oswald Chambers' writings have inspired countless people to drink deeply from the biblical truths that he so passionately championed. His words are simultaneously penetrating and invigorating, and they trigger something in your soul, leaving you forever changed. So do text us in. The code today is TEM54. That's TEM54. Text it into 0488 880 891. That's TEM for Tassie Encounters Moments, and the number 5 and 4. No spaces. TEM54. Text it into 0488 880 891. May you encounter Jesus more today, and do join us tomorrow as we look at Dietrich Bonhoeffer.
Whom have I in heaven but you? There is nothing on earth I desire beside you. My heart and my flesh will fail me, but I know this truth will remain. God, you are the strength of my heart and my portion forever. There's nothing on earth I desire beside you.
This program has been made possible by the support of Adventist World Radio.